Bashim Shai. How Bashim Shai. Rakata Yahweh Shai.
But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you, weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end eschewed the treasure of immortality. Let my soul bless Yahweh, the great King. When Jerusalem shall be built up with sapphires and emeralds and precious stones, thy walls and towers and battlements with pure gold. And the streets of Jerusalem shall be paved with beryl and carbuncle and stones of Ophir. And all her streets shall say, Alleluia. And they shall praise him, saying, Blessed be Yahweh, which have extolled it forever.
It's about time, man, because I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to get the kingdom. I'm ready to live. I'm ready to breathe fresh. I'm ready to have beautiful, pure women, okay? Not no strawberry harlots on this side. Ready to have children, man, you can vibe with, okay? Be around brothers. Be around the Lord himself, okay? I'm ready to go and visit places in the galaxy that we didn't know exist. All right, I'm ready to walk on sandy beaches, man, and explore the ocean floors. I'm ready to fly, okay? I'm ready to eat real food, okay? I'm ready to drive a chariot, man. All right, I'm ready to minister to the Lord and to be ministered to, man. Okay, I'm ready to worship Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai in its full entirety. Okay, I'm ready for it. We're ready, man. I'm ready to see angels and greet angels.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful lake out there, pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today, is just a hot mess and then some. All right, dealing with the madness, of Genesis, who are now pretty much teaching a Christian doctrine. For years, they've been, the champion, okay, the self-proclaimed champions of defending the gospel of salvation only for Israelites. This is how they built their brand. All this, over the years, swing their sword, deacon, and, get them aside and, cut shop, all the scissor emojis and going against Christians and all these particular things. Here it is. They built a brand, okay, off defending salvation for Israelites only, all right, to switch overnight like it's nothing. Okay, and this is the instability that Jake is going into these times with. All right, and a lot of you Israelites have no foundation. A lot of you Israelites, you're here for the soap opera. You're here for the drama. Okay, you're enjoying this Israelite reality TV show that these particular men have made. Okay, and this all springs from, okay, their spiritual father, okay, Alazar. Okay, and what you have is a hot mess and then some, man. This is complete madness what these guys got going on. Okay, And then the timing of it, here it is. We're going into, all right, the trenches of prophecy. Okay, Esau Edom is rolling out a technocracy right, okay, before our eyes. Okay, boots on the ground. Okay, ICE agent. You know, you got ICE agent imposters, people being kidnapped. You know, food insecurities, and you know, all these different things that's happening in real time. And you got Israelites, all right, that are entangled in some mess. Okay, false doctrine. Okay, freakiness and just madness, man. Okay, and I want to get into this, you know, and I got a little bit of that video from Gorilla. Okay, and I want to touch on a few points of that video, but let's start here. All right, with the book of Jude. Okay, which we was constantly warned, all right, about men like this, and now we see it. Okay, this is Jude 1:11 says, "Woe to them, for they have gone the defiant way of Cain." All right, and defiant, that means that you're openly rebelling. All right, and these men have been in open rebellion for years, man, and now, all right, it's an embarrassment. It only gets worse. They're a complete embarrassment to anyone that's serious-minded about the truth. See, if you love gossip and mess and, you know, barbershop, beauty salon talk, all right, which a lot of Israelites, that's what they're here for, okay, then this is everything to you. This gives you life. Okay, but if you're serious-minded about the truth and maturing in your Hawashah, man, this is a goddamn embarrassment, man, what these guys are on. Okay, it says, "And for profit they have run alone into the era of Balaam and perished in the rebellion." All right, of minuteness. All right, Korah. Okay, and for the last, 10 plus years, 12 years plus, these men have been in open rebellion against the men that taught them. Okay, you see, they've been at the forefront of a rebellion, just like Korah and Dathan. Okay, when you go into the scriptures, they were ringleaders of a rebellion. Okay, so Eleazar, Deacon Hakah, and Hassad, these men have been at the forefront of rebellion, all right, in Israel. Okay, and now they're following, all right, it's split between the two. Okay, and it's a spirit, as these things are happening, as it's shedding light on, with ISUPK, light being shed on John the Baptist, okay, validating his, all right, role, okay, in the ministry. And now the Apostle Paul, all right, is being validated. And this all Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, the spirit of Yahweh Shai is doing all this and bringing all this out, man. We're going to touch on it, man, and that's the spirit, because I'm just now getting into the book of 1 Corinthians, doing the series on it, and it's going into all this, man. Okay, so I'll be pulling, from a few books of Corinthians just to touch on some things, but this is gonna be an ongoing thing, and we're gonna build on this, and we're gonna edify. The hell with them two niggas, man. It's about the spirit. Well, these three niggas, man. Okay, it's about the spirit of edification. Okay, it's about strengthening the church. Okay, but these men have been the face of rebellion for a decade plus. Okay, now it's looking bad. Okay, verse 12 says, Jude 1:12 said, "These men are hidden reefs, elements of great danger to others," man. Because if you're following these, man, you're in great danger of going into this time not being rooted in nothing. If you've been following these men, you don't know what you believe. Okay, the truth is a reality show to you. Okay, you're following a man that was a crip, all right, that a mole, okay, a sexual deviant. You see, you've been grifted. Okay, now you're following his two minions, his two creations. Okay, Genesis. Now you're back in the Christian church. You've been rerouted back to the Christian church, man. So you're coming into the worst time ever, confused as hell. That's dangerous, man. Okay, that's a danger. See, we're finna see the consequences of poor leadership. And on the flip side, we're finna see the benefits of having serious-minded spiritual leadership, beginning with our apostles and elders, you know, the elders, the structure, you know, that has been set up, you know, amongst GMS, man. You know, that structure is going to be appreciated going into these times. Okay? Because you're going to have a lot of Israelites with fringes and head wraps on, confused as hell going into this time, man. Okay? They have turned this thing, all right, into entertainment. Okay? And it says, these men are hidden reefs, all right, elements of great danger. And this is in the AMP. Okay? It says, in your love feast or feast of charity. All right? You see? Because he go here, it says the early church frequently met together for communal meal, followed by the Lord's Supper. Okay, so you have the church, you know, the believers that will come together, you know, for their communion meal, you know, fellowship. All right, and these people will come around, all right, with all these wicked motives. All right, and they wasn't ashamed, knowing that they didn't believe, knowing they weren't sincere, and they wasn't ashamed to come around, just like these guys in the spirit. They didn't mind coming around, feasting and learning and gaining, you know, knowledge. All along, they had their own agenda in their mind the whole time. All right, and they broke off, and they was able to garner, okay, a audience or following, okay, and have led them all to their destroy, and they're leading, and they've led, all right, you know, the masses, okay, into destruction as well, just like Korah and Dathan. Everybody that followed Korah and Dathan got destroyed, man. Okay, it didn't end well for none of them or their families, man. Jake playing, y'all playing. Okay, said these men are hidden reefs, elements of great danger to others in your love feast, when they feast together with you without fear, looking after only themselves. Okay, and all these men are doing now are just defending their ego. It has nothing to do about, all right, the doctrine and edifying the believers, the church, the congregation. No, it's about defending their ego, trying to validate their own egos, man. Okay, a hot mess and then some. It said they are like clouds without water, useless. Okay, they're useless. They become useless. They went, just like Eliyahu woman said, they've been hanging around them theologians and all these debates and reading all these different you know, commentaries, and now the Lord allowed demons to get them because they weren't sincere. Okay, so the Lord has allowed these demons to get on them, confuse them, put these seducing spirits on to now they're confused as hell, man. Okay, they don't know what they believe. Okay, all they can do now is just push doubt. Anyone that's following them, the only thing that you're gonna get from here on out is doubt. Okay, and drama. Okay, like one of them you know, like one of them low budget movies on BET. This is what you finna get from these niggas, a low budget BET movie from here on out. Okay, it says swept along by the winds, all them trees without fruit. Okay, doubly dead, uprooted and lifeless, man. And see, they've been uprooted. The spirit has uprooted them. Okay, they departed from the true vine of Yahushua, and now they're just uprooted and withered away. They doubly dead. They was dead, and then they was awakened to the truth. Okay, now they died again. They're doubly dead. Okay, and they don't have any fruit. Okay, fruit meat for repentance. If you're following these men, you're not meat for repentance. You don't know what's going on. Okay, you just finna listen to these niggas argue while we go into the worst time ever, man. Okay, and these men are uprooted and lifeless when it comes to Yahushua. Okay, says wild waves of the sea all over the place, chaotic. Okay, last week Alizar was talking about shooting up the projects, and he was trying to get on no jumper, and you know he was trying to, you know, like goddamn. You see, just wild waves of the sea all over the place, man. And if you're following these men, you're all over the place. Okay, you don't know whether to put on you know, some chucks, all right, some shades, the hat. Okay, you don't, you see, you don't know what to do. Okay, it says flinging up their own shame like foam, and this is what we're finna see these men do. Wandering stars for whom the gloom of deep darkness has been reserved forever, man. So now what we're seeing, all right, these men just going further and further into darkness, man. No understanding and reserved for punishment, man, for judgment. Okay, so let's go here. I said been reading. All right, let's go here. 1 Corinthians 3. And see, you Israelites, okay, you've made these men into idols. Okay, and now they've led you off a cliff. Okay, and since you're not rooted in Yahweh, you have nothing, all right, to build on. Okay, 1 Corinthians 3:3 says, you are still worldly, controlled by ordinary impulses, the sinful capacity. For as long as there is jealousy and strife and discord among you, you are not, all right, you are not unspiritual. Okay, it said, are you not unspiritual? Salaki. It said, long as there is jealousy and strife and discord among you, are you not unspiritual? Okay, and these men are not spiritual, carnal men. Okay, and but you know, they're able to be eloquent and, you know, go into things, and they're able to paint a picture, but they're not spiritual, man. Okay, and are you not walking like ordinary men, unchanged by faith? They're still niggas, man. Alazar still a nigga. Deacon Hakai still a nigga. Aside a nigga, man. Okay. Nothing about this truth has changed, and they have went into all these deep dive and breakdowns, and, you know, the backdrops and doing backflips and throwing precepts off the backboard and all these things, but these men are unchanged. All right, from before they came into the truth, and now they're still them same niggas, man. Okay, now they just got a following, all right, and they know, all right, some breakdowns. Okay, it said verse 4 said, for when one of you says, I am a disciple of Paul, and another, I am a disciple of Apollos, are you not proving yourselves unchanged, just ordinary people? And the congregation that's following them is just a bunch of unchanged, ordinary niggas, man, that know they Israelites. Okay, and you made these men into your idols, and now they led you off a cliff. So let's go into some of this video. All right, and then we get some more precepts. Okay, let's go here. All right, a hot mess and then some, man. And see these guys, because the video damn near 4 hours long. See, this is what these guys live for. This is what get these niggas going, is exposing and the gossip and the drama. And this is what most of you people listen for, is for this. And you can tell Alazar has came back to life. He hasn't had any life in his voice for a long time. Okay, but this event has revived him. Okay, and the Lord is so strategic, man. You people that just been waiting on this man to come back. Okay, the Lord just hardening all you wicked Israelites. He got you gathering to this wicked, all right, hot mess. Okay, this fiasco. He got you gathered in and tuned in right before, all right, he unleashes judgment, man. Okay, because he wants you niggas to be completely distracted. He wants you to be guilty as hell when judgment hits, man. You know, so a lot of you people have been sitting in the cut waiting on Gorilla, your hero, okay, to get some life again. You can tell he got life in his voice now because of this incident, because now he can feed off the embarrassment of these niggas, man. Okay, and it's just a bunch of hot mess, and we're going to edify, you know, through it all. Okay, we're going to edify. We're going to stay on our watch. This ain't going to be the main thing, all right, but this is going to be, all right, a opportunity to edify, you know. But this ain't gonna be, we ain't gonna be consumed by this. I watched about 40 some minutes. All I need to see, All right, I can't listen to these niggas gossip for no goddamn 4 hours, man. Okay, so let's play this and we'll jump around.
Tell you about them. They have no fucking clue what they're doing. They never do. They never did. Like Tazariak says, this is what happened when you leave daddy's house. Those two would come up with all kind of ideas that I would shut down in less than 5 minutes on phone calls all the time. And I got it in 4K. All the time.
With Lucid Spark, you can bring your team's best and brightest ideas to life. The virtual whiteboard is
The time.
So he's talking about Deacon Hakai and Hassad, you know, going to how he would have to shut down a lot of their ideas all the time. Okay, so now he can make it seem as if they're falling apart because they're not under his leadership. All right, like he was some profound leader. All right, he was a terrible leader. Okay, extremely irresponsible, big ass child. Okay, these two niggas are just more childish than him, but it's all a hot mess, man. Okay.
Hey, you think it's what? Oh man, you're right. They don't have that anymore. So they're allowed to formulate bad ideas, horrible Bible breakdowns, and because they're the only two idiots they could bounce the ideas off of, and they don't have a voice of reason to come and say, no, Deacon, you idiot, that ain't it. No, Hassad, you idiot, that ain't it.
And see, they learned that from him. They learned rebellion from him. Okay. They learned how to make these controversial doctrines from him. They're your fruit. Okay. All the character flaws that they have, all the bad habits, okay, and quality traits that these two men have come from you. Okay. You're the tree that they came off of, man. Okay.
Who's this? Who Cheese 43? He said, you do know them more than you. They don't know you. They didn't even know you got poked. But I know Deacon gets poked.
And see, now he's finna go into some nastiness, man. So I'm gonna fast forward that. All right. And it's just a hot mess. And see, he can't never live that down. Okay. Now, you know, he's been rejuvenated. So you watch this and you can tell he's rejuvenated by, all right, the bad news, okay, of these guys, Deacon Hakai and Hassad. But you can't never live down that nastiness you done. Okay, it can't be justified. All right. So let's fast forward, you know, because now they're gonna get to that nigga nastier than me, one of them type of, you know. But let's fast forward, all right, to some more hypocrisy. Okay, and it's just absolutely crazy to hear Al-Azhar saying this. Okay, but he's speaking of himself. All right, these are your two, okay, creation. This is your fruit. Okay.
So they went out and they said that this has been thinking that for years. He just said that he's a witness to they're not going to teach that. So are you guys lying now or were you lying then? You're lying one of the times. There is a lie. These niggas are liars. Just like Deacon, when he left the camp, he told me, he said, bro, I wouldn't even take nobody from Sakari. I don't want nobody from Sakari. I'll tell if anybody from Sakari tries to join me, I'm going to tell them, no, stay in Sakari. And then him and Hassad proceeded to call niggas that were still in Sakari and persuade them to leave and join them. And they were mad at the fact that they didn't really get a lot of niggas. All they got is North Carolina and a bunch of hanger-on niggas that was never shit in the camp anyway, was never going to rank up. That's all they got. All the hitters stayed. They didn't leave until the scandal came. That's when niggas start jumping ship, when the scandal came. And the only niggas that went and got with y'all from that was Houston. Those are hitters, I'm for sure. Other than that, you niggas didn't get any hitters. Do you know why that is? Because the niggas who were in Sakari, they know what time it is with these two, bro. This facade that this pseudo humility that they display to y'all, and this act that they put on to try to appeal to y'all's emotions, like they're just these sincere, humble, bro. That is not who these two niggas are. And as somebody who lived with these niggas for years, I can attest to these are two of the proudest niggas on the face of the earth, especially that fucking aside. He's the most humble, proud nigga you've ever seen in your life.
Madness. Okay. And they come, all right, from you. You bred these niggas, man. Okay. So let's go here. Let's get this. And I got one more part in that video I want to get. All right. So let's go here to I said this is the AMP, Matthew 7 and 15. Okay. This is Matthew 7 and 15. It said, beware of false prophets, teachers who come to you dressed up as sheep, appearing gentle and innocent, but inwardly are ravenous wolves, man. And they learned that from you, Alizar. Okay, you bred that in them boys. Okay, you bred that. It just ain't no honor amongst thieves. Okay, but at the end of the day, you are all raven and wolves. You taught them how to grift the congregation. You taught them how to play humble, but really a wicked nigga, man. They learned that from you. Okay, it said by their fruit you will recognize them. So when you look at Deacon Hakah and her side, you're looking at the fruit of Alizar. Okay, and you see that there's no honor, no integrity, and all they finna do is tell each other secrets and go back. And you Israelites, and that's what you're here for. The Lord is giving you a buffet of gossip and mess for you to chow on, going right into these times, the worst time ever, going right into these times, not rooted in anything, just here. Okay, full of gossip. Only thing that you have is some new gospel. You Israelites that live and wake up for the gossip. The Lord is giving you a buffet of it. All right before he destroy your ass, man. Okay, this is what we see happen. It says, by their fruit you will recognize them. All right, that is by their contrived doctrine and self-focus. They got their self-focus from you. They learn how to take precepts and formulate these contrary doctrines from you. Okay, for attention, for clout. Okay. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs, all right, from thistles? Okay. Even so, every healthy tree bears good fruit, but the unhealthy tree bears bad fruit. And Sakari, Alizar, you're the unhealthy tree. All right. And these two niggas fell from you. Okay. It says a good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into a fire, man. And this is why the Lord is breaking this shit up, man. Okay, and if you're following this fiasco, the Lord does not want your ass, man. Okay, because the only thing that's finna come from this is confusion, gossip, secrets. He said this text message. Remember when he did this, he like it like that too, and he did this. I know, that's the only thing you're gonna get from this, man. Okay, but on the other side, beginning with our apostle and elder GMS, man, nothing but edification gonna keep going out, man, and it never change. All through the spirit and power, how about Shema Al-Shai. It said, therefore, by their fruit you will recognize them as false prophets, man. And look at what these niggas have produced, man. Like I say, just last week, a week or two, Alizar was talking about shooting up the project. Them niggas better not be there when he come back and all. Now he's back to a priest again. Now he's a chief priest again. He's in that spirit again. Okay, Adam 22 didn't work out. No jumper didn't work out for him. Okay. You see, he said this was a movement. All right, said we was cosplaying. Now he's back in that role of a chief priest. You could tell he's in that energy because now he has somebody he can criticize. Because for a moment he had nothing, and this has revived him. And all you niggas that They've been waiting on this nigga to come back. The Lord granted you your wish, all right, to as a snare. This is a snare. Okay, this is a 2/3 snare, this fiasco that's happening, man. Okay, and like I said, you Israelites that live for this, you wicked, all right, niggas and women that live for this type of gossip, this is a snare. Okay, right before judgment. All right, now let's go back here. Okay, because the whole thing with Deacon Hassai, he said that he would never teach that Gentiles can be saved. Okay, but now, all right, like he never said it. Let's go here. Let's fast forward a little bit. Okay. Let's go. I'm gonna say about 30. Maybe about right here. Let it play right here.
Only say that to say my comprehension has always been above average, and I can't make sense of you saying that and reading that scripture that came out of the mouth of Yahushua, and you thinking somehow rationalizing a Gentile can be saved. The fuck out of here, my nigga. Let's keep going. All ones in the chat, no twos, all praises. We got thinking brothers in the chat.
With a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. Now, what's he quoting? Psalm chapter 2. When I think it says in Psalm chapter 2, verse 7, ask of me, and I will give you the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. That's what was given to Christ. But then when Christ returns, he's going to give those who have been faithful, he's basically going to break bread. And so while Christ rules over the earth, he's going to give certain jurisdictions to the Israelites, and they will, with Christ, rule over the nations and rule the world with him. So if there's any notion that I'm about to start teaching, I'm about to start holding hands with John and Tommy and pray together, you know, that's just Asa 9, Asa 10, Asa 11, Asa. I'm about to start teaching. And
Wait. Let's hear what he said. Y'all heard him, right? One more time.
They will, with Christ, rule over the nations and rule the world with him. So if there's any notion that I'm about to start teaching, I'm about to start holding hands with John and Tommy and pray together, you know, that's just Asa 9, Asa 10, Asa 11, Asa 12.
Well, he said it's asinine to think that he's going to hold hands with them and pray together. But let's just look up asinine. Definition: extremely stupid or foolish. But now you're doing it. So were you lying then, or are you lying now? Lying is a sin, you know. More on this.
You see what I'm saying? That's not at all what I would ever say.
That nigga just said that is not at all what he would ever say. Were you lying then, or are you lying now, nigga?
And pray together. You know, that's just Asa 9, Asa 10, Asa 11, about the Israelites, and they will, with Christ, rule over the nations and rule the world with him. So if there's any notion that I'm about to start teaching, I'm about to start holding hands with John and Tommy and pray together, you know, that's just Asa 9, Asa 10, Asa 11, Asa 12. You see what I'm saying? That's not at all what I would ever say. Like,
I'm surgical with this bitch, Jake. You bitch head, you niggas think you can ever fuck with me in your whole life?
And this has brought Sakari. All right, this has brought Alazar back to life. Okay, he finna ride this wave. All right, and it's gonna be a hot mess, man. But it's enough to come from this as far as us going into salvation for the Israelites, doubling down on that. All right, because there's always new listeners, so it's, you know, it's always, you know, good to revisit that. So, you know, that's gonna be revisited. Okay, and then, you know, this video from this perspective and other videos will show you, all right, that these men, okay, are setting up many for failure, man. All right, there's no any of these three men. All right, this cackling ass nigga here, because he ain't laughed in a while. Okay, but this cackling, all right, crip, priest, punk, okay, and these two niggas here, man, these two slicksters, okay, his fruit, these seducing spirits, okay, if you're following them, you're going into destruction, man. Okay, you have no foundation, you don't know what's going on, your mind is not on prophecy, you're just on who gonna say what next and who gonna expose who next and who got the most the most dirt and the latest tea. Okay, if that's what you into, you just gotta you finna get a buffet of that. But if you're into edification, you're gonna get a buffet of that, man. So let's get a few precepts, man. At the end of the day, all right. I say I ain't gonna spend a lot of time on them niggas, man, but just showing you this is what's going on in the timing of it with these niggas, man. So let's go here. All right, so this is the book of James. All right, chapter 1. And we was constantly warned about these niggas, man. All right. James 1:8, it says, being a double-minded man, unstable and restless in all his ways, in everything he thinks, feels, or decides. All right, so these men, because when they first broke off, all right, Elder Pastor Hart called it out that it had to be something with doctrine. All right, and lo and behold, okay, you see, okay, Hassad wanted to teach, all right, the actual other nations can be saved. Okay, that's what he was on, and now it's done come out. Everything has come out. All right, and these men are double-minded. They're unstable. All right, because he just told you that he would never teach that. Okay, he did a lesson. When they broke up, he directly went into saying he would never teach that. Now he's doubling and tripling down on that, man. Okay, I watched a little bit of the lesson Apostle Hart did, and he was tuned in to them Genesis going live last night as I was leaving camp, headed home, and he just went through all these examples, okay, of random heathens, being favored in certain situations in the Bible, and he put all it together to say heathens going to be saved. Okay, and we're going to touch on that because what is salvation? We Eliashua Wamba went into it, other brothers went into it. I went into it before. Hey, we're going to revisit that, get clear understanding what salvation is and the concept of salvation, showing how it's absolutely impossible for heathens to have salvation, man. That's madness. Okay, so Lord we'll touch on that as well. Okay, but you're seeing that these men are unstable. They're not fit to be leaders. Okay, and if the Lord has you looking at these niggas as leaders, the Lord wants to destroy you, man. The Lord wants you to be ignorant going into these times. He wants you to be unstable. He wants you to be tossed to and fro, as the scriptures say. Let's get this, okay? All right, let's go here. The book of Ephesians, okay? And we get this all the time. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, and verse 11. It says, and his gifts to the church were varied, and he himself, and this Ephesians 4:11, and he himself appointed some as apostles, special messengers, representatives, some as prophets who speak a new message from the Most High to the people, some as evangelists who spread the good news of salvation, and some as pastors and teachers to shepherd and guide and to instruct. So you have all these offices in the body, all right, and their purpose, all right, is to what? And he did this to fully equip and perfect the saints. Okay, and if you're following these men, you're not equipped with anything. You have no clue what you're a part of. You don't know what's going on. You're not in tune with prophecy. Okay, you're just here looking for the latest mess, man. Okay, and it says, and he did this to fully equip and perfect the saints, the Most High's people, for works, which are Israelites, for works of service to build up the body of Messiah, the church until we reach the oneness in faith and the knowledge of the Son of the Most High, growing spiritually to become a mature believer. And those are just children. There's no adults in the room over there, man. With Alazar, with Genesis, there's no spiritual adults in the room. Okay, children bickering. Okay, it says reaching to the measure of the fullness of a Mashiach, manifesting his spiritual completeness and exercising our spiritual gifts in unity. Okay, and amongst the true believers, man, it's running like a well-oiled machine, man. You're getting prophecy, you're getting history, you're getting instructions, you're getting you're getting character building. Okay, you're getting the health, you're getting, you see. You're getting prophecy, you're getting everything. It's like a well-oiled machine amongst the sincere body of Yahushua. Okay, over there, you're gonna get 4 hours of he said, she said, he did, they did. All right, BS, man. Okay, it says so that we are no longer children, spiritually immature, tossed back and forth like ships on a stormy sea and carried about by every wind of shifting doctrine. All right, and these men are shifting doctrine back and forth. And you Israelites that ain't rooted in anything, you're just shifting about with these men. Okay, you believe that salvation was only for Israel Sunday. Okay, now, all right, it's Saturday. All right, the following Saturday, you believe, all right, in the Christian doctrine again. Okay, you see, in 3-4 days, nigga, all these years of being these champions and debaters against Christians, all right, just to drop your ass right back off on the front steps of the church, man. Okay? The Most High not playing, man. It says, and carried about by every wind of shifting doctrine, by the cunning and trickery of unscrupulous men, by the deceitful scheming of people ready to do anything for personal profit, man. And all you are is a prophet to these men. Okay, you people that follow and you don't know what you believe, but the entertainment is good, the gimmicks, you like the gimmicks, the style, and the charisma. Okay, all you are is a prophet to them, man. You are a lifestyle to these guys. Okay, and that's why they don't mind leaving, coming back, being this, changing the doctrine. Okay, they don't care. All right, as long as if you abide, they'll sell it. Okay, that's why these same guys sold you anything that you will buy. Okay, for marriage counseling, anything that you could think of to be bought, they sold it to you, niggas, man. All right, you simple ass women, you just like to be around any type of attention. You don't care, good, bad, or whatever. Okay, so let's go here. This is Sirach 1:28. All right, I started at 29. Get to the point. It says, "Be careful about what you say, and don't be a hypocrite." And this is in the GNT. Sirach 1:29. Be careful what you say, and don't be a hypocrite. Don't be arrogant. You may suffer a fall and be disgraced. The Lord will reveal your secrets and humble you in front of everyone in the synagogue, because you did not come there with the reverence for the Lord, but with a heart full of hypocrisy, man. They're just a bunch of hypocrisy and deceit, man. And now you're seeing the embarrassment going out. If you can see it, you gotta be spiritually mature to see that this shit is embarrassment, man. If you're spiritually mature and you still into the gossip and say the barbershop / beauty salon talk, then this is excellent. Okay, this scratches your itch. Okay, but to the spiritually mature, this is a goddamn embarrassment and nothing but pure hypocrisy, man. So that was a point. Just wanted to get into that. Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you sisters edified. Till next time I say shalom. Kwame Yashala, Abab, soon shalom.